Welcome back to our second session for today. This is also a very different and upcoming topic, that is Prepack insolvency package. I think he will be the right person to explain what it is all about. And without wasting any further time, I would suggest that we start the session. For the introduction of today's faculty, I would like to invite C. Ankush Gupta.
It is my honor. I like to share one thing. हम लोगों ने क्लासेस जेके शाह साथ में की थी। उसके बाद आज मिले हैं हम लोग। तो मालूम नहीं था कि ऐसे टकराएंगे और मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल जाएगी इनका प्रशांत का इंट्रोडक्शन करने के लिए। So it is a privilege for me. Thank you, Purvi madam. CA Prashant Jain. He is a practicing chartered accountant, qualified insolvency professional and registered valuer. CA Prashant Jain has been pursuing corporate career for 15 years across various industries. He has closely worked with promoters of various industries with various capacity and achieved excelling corporate career. Thereafter, since 2018, he switched to professional practice. He is also having additional qualification as forensic auditor, qualified independent director, arbitrator, and mediation. His office is located at Vashi, Navi Mumbai. So he has come all the way from Vashi. He is a founder partner of Sasalvat Sarvi Resolution Services LLP. That is an insolvency professional entity. Sarvi is also having legal and consultancy firm. Sarvi stands for Special Situation Assets Resolution Viability and Investment Service. फिर से बोलता हूँ. Sarvi stands for Special Situation Asset Resolution Viability and Investment Advisory. Wow. Mr. Jain has handled many critical cases under CIRP and has also done valuation for more than 150 cases. With this introduction, I welcome him with a huge round of applause. And before starting the seminar, as a custom, we'll present him with a memento. Sir, sir will join us.
Hi, sir.
Yes, sir. ये सर ये भी
Thank you.
Prashant, you can start.
Sure, boss. Full screen. Full screen. Sure.
We'll go to this presentation. Yeah.
So, thank you and good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ankush ji, for giving this introduction about me. Thank you, Ms. Purvi. Thank you, Agera sir. Thank you, all my professional brother and sister. It's a privilege to sit in the JV Nagar study center, officer study group. I think few of the study circle group are one of JV Nagar is a one famous one. So the one when Ms. Purvi just called me that day, I immediately said yes. I was not knowing the topic, but afterwards we discovered the topic also.
It's not our topic. Okay,
so just to meet our professional brothers and sisters. So thank you, everyone. Myself, Prashant Jain, of course, Ankush ji is already introduced about it. So basically, along with the corporate career, afterwards, I directly jumped to the practice. So I have not started the traditional practice. I have directly jumped into the insolvency resolution professional practice, which was, of course, 2017 it was started, and I jumped into 2018. This is also similar profession with regard to CA practice, one of the vertical, but is a specialized one. Since 5 years, you must have daily, hearing about the cases of, Ambani's, Anil Ambani, and then the Dooth, Videocons, and a lot of cases say, and now Biani and all. These all cases says that what all the big tycoons were there in 2000 or somewhere around 1998. Now they have come to the insolvency and bankruptcy stage. So the business cycle, we all are chartered accountant, we know the client, how they start, how they close also. And I believe chartered accountant is only, and the accountant team is the one who is there with them from the beginning till the end, till the time you close the file. So that is what I think advantage for us to understand any business and work on resolution of that business. So I believe that skill is always working for me, and that's the reason I'm in this profession. So this is what we do: insolvency services, forensic analysis and advisory, legal services, special situation assets, resolution services. So the prologue is this, that in how many companies registered in India in the first year of 2023? As per MCA data, you may see is almost around 14 to 15,000 per month companies are registered. In September, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around 14,000 in private limited and 4 to 5,000 in LLP. Out of this, few must be MSME. Overall, India basis per day, somewhere around 20,000 MSME. Uddam MSME data, it says, is get registered, which includes proprietor, partnership, LLP, MSME and all. And as we know that every business does not get successful. The ratio broadly, thumbs rules, people says out of 100, hardly 5 or 10 do a good business. Few just survive and few gets lost in between their tenure of survival. So what happened to that? So that is where the question comes, whether the exit route is available to them or not. I believe we are all witness of Mumbai and Maharashtra mill, when the Mazdoor mill and all was there. A lot of mills, lot of businesses closed that time. Mostly it was lockdown. It was not resolved. A lot of workers and all was just unemployed that time. A lot of issues, political and all thing there, but it was not closed. If you remember, in 2000 onwards, these all mills converted into real estate. Maybe before this also, malls, real estate and all. Then they survived. So it took a lot of time. That time, the one thing which was missing in entire India was exit route. Any business you start, there is no exit route. Today also what we do is we do 252 for the 248, 252 for strike off. We don't close the business, close the company. We just do the strike off. We do the nil balance sheet, close the bank account, but we don't close the company. Company is still there. In 20 years, anybody can go back, and if you have any claim or if anybody has a claim, they can go and ask for the revival of the company or restoring of the company. So it does not get closed. It is only done as a strike off.
Well, that's why it is called a strike off.
Correct. So now people, mostly our professional brother sister.
So winding up बोलते हैं वो क्या रहता है?
हाँ, so winding up सर पहले था जैसे companies that अब जो है वो voluntary liquidation में हो गया. Few windings up there as per the court and all, which is still there in the Companies Act. But there is also old cases which is going. So voluntary liquidation is a separate, which is section 59 in IBC. Earlier it was in Companies Act only, but now it is carved out. But I am not taking that topic. I am only trying to say that exit route should be available, and exit route should be available for big corporates, for the small corporates. Whatever business you have, even if you have an MSME business, you have a one small plant where 10 से 25-50 मजदूर तो कोई ना कोई होंगे. Again, sometimes depends if it is the area of what do you call that, industrial area, then there is always union. So it is very difficult to get out. All this thing impacts once you talk about exit route. I just give you a scenario of CRP also, that people must be aware about corporate insolvency resolution process. Anybody's IP here? Insolvency professional? So I just give you the small background of it. Of course, post 2016, this code was promulgated, and 2017 onwards, we've seen a lot of traction into this. A lot of big cases. You must have heard about Bhushan, and then you must have heard about this thing, SR Steels and all. Dirty 12 was the name, and this 12 got out of a few got resolved. Few got a good value. SR Steel got a very good value. Bhushan Steel also got a value, but of course there is ED attachment is still there. So this is the static phase that the case admitted in 6815, resolution approved, which resolution approved means company which is got resolved, somebody as a new management or the same management, in case if they are eligible, take over the company survived with the same name or the name change, and then lender also got recovery out of that. Suppose if I have 100 rupees, they got average rate of recovery around 30-32%. That is also including of their interest, penal interest, all blah blah charges and all these things. So that is what the magic of insolvency regime, which is still going on, and this is as per the IBBI June 2023 quarterly report. This is in the graph. You can see that. Yeah.
In your view, is this process work? Has it worked or is it still at the
No, it has worked. It has worked. Most of the sticky NPAs.
6815 is cumulative?
No, it's 6815 is for as on. Yeah, of course, it is a cumulative. Yeah, it's cumulative. So most of the sticky NPAs, I believe, we might have seen, being a chartered accountant and practice, that a lot of companies which are NPAs in last 5 or 10 years still working. Some of the settlement, some of the discussion is still going on, but it's not resolved. So after this regime, if you see the 3 impacts, first, borrower now understood if he does not settle, his company will go away. Somebody else will sit over there, which is very embarrassing. If suppose I am sitting on his place and then he's sitting that side, he has to ask everything to us, because the entire power gets shifted to the insolvency professional once it get appointed. Second thing, the assets which was not in the use or not on the optimal use because of working capital crunch or because of funding was not available, this gets put to use. So it is again economic assets of the nation which gets put to use. Impact or the positive impact is employment generations, new employments, new business, investments and all. And of course, the bank's balance sheet as well as the lender balance sheet is also clean up. If you've seen last 2 to 3 years, the PSU banks or mostly banks, their NPA is less and their results are good. In fact, recently, I just tell you one company, you must have heard about DB Reality.
Yeah.
Right. It was a lot of, I think from last 2014 onwards, they are going for settlement. Sticky NPAs, trying to resolve and all, a lot of things. Somewhere around July, August, it got admitted. Their settlement was going on, still NCLT admitted that. And you must have known their name is very famous. Some of the people have also known that they are connected to the outside, dons and all also. Got admitted within 3 days. They went to the anklet, got it reversed. Anklet told them, you deposit 380 crore rupees here. They deposited it. Last 10 years, they were just trying to lingering all the settlement, but afterwards, the moment it got admitted, they paid it. So that you can understand the power. Of course, still WIP. But power and the impact is visible to the economy, to the business.
4742 is available.
Yes. And it includes a lot of sticky NPAs, which there was no resolution. All regime of, you can say CDR, SDR, all regime of this, they have seen it. Afterwards, they come. Even BFR, they have seen all the things. They could not resolve over there. 20 years back, companies which was not resolved, they resolved it here now.
So that Sika thing has been abolished?
Yes, it's all submerged into this. Yes. Should I move now?
Yeah.
So my topic is Prepack. So the concept of insolvency bankruptcy code started in 2016. There is a BRC report also. The Prepack was not identified that time. It was very small discussion was there on that the Prepack would be also there because it was originated in the USA. So basically, I just tell you that before I take the Prepack, the difference between two is what? The difference between two CRP, which we are talking, and Prepack, which we are talking. The CRP is where a company gets admitted into NCLT and it's come into the creditor controls. So creditor will be the owner. In Prepack, the borrower still maintain his ownership, but still try to settle it. So that is what the difference. We call it in the bottom line, creators in control and debtors in control. And origin of Prepack, which you can see from the US side. The basic concept of Prepack is informal negotiation. Of course, we daily use it in our life also. Informal negotiation of reorganization, restructuring deal between the debtor and the borrower. Practice of Prepack was first introduced in the US formally following the enactment of bankruptcy reform. US was the first one who started in 1978, which expressly allowed Prepack. Origin of Prepack. Of course, this is what the history says. The equity receivership practice in the US formed the precursor to the modern day concept of Prepack. If you can go through with the previous, I just tell you if we can correlate in our normal thing, हम normally use करते हैं कि ये party या दो party आज उड़ गया, which normally we use in this. And afterwards we see कि साल दो साल बाद में आता है और रुपए के अंदर 25 या 30 पैसा 40 पैसा settle करता है. This is what the normal terminology used in the business. This is called that he's settling it. So if you just link it with the equity receivership practice in the US form, the precursor, it is the same. They make some informal to formal process where somebody allowed to do settlement in this way, where somebody will control the assets. You'll see that the distribution is happened. Even you might have seen, being a chartered accountant, a lot of family distribution also happens same thing. They appoint a one administrator or a one arbitrator on everybody's consent. They think and they start, okay, this is what the distribution will happen. This is of course in the family member, but this you can correlate same thing with the lenders also, borrowers also, and any creditors also. The committee would then propose a reorganization plan and seek its confirmation. The US Congress decided to regulate this practice after it came to fore that senior creditor would control the process. Senior creditor means those who have a higher debt. So US Congress separated the practice into two. The plan confirmation was not allowed in the equity receivership practice before the initiation of formal reorganization procedure, while pre-confirmation plan was allowed for a small non-public companies before the filing of bankruptcy case. This is Chapter 11, which is very people must be knowing about in US. In 1978, both the regime was consolidated into one, Chapter 11, and restrictions were lifted. And this is what the international practice. Of course, this term of Prepack is also adopted from the US and the UK. This is already there outside. Even our CRP was also initiated from the other country like UK, Singapore and all, and US also. So this is what about the international provision. Section 363 of United States Bankruptcy Code permits pre-arranged bankruptcy. Pre-arranged bankruptcy is sort of Prepack. The US is a separate bankruptcy code which has restructuring powers of debtor, whereas the original jurisdiction lies with the district courts. There is a procedure how to deal with. In India, it has now become the domain of NCLT. You must have heard about NCLT in 2016, before 2016, for the company law matter. Now, company law matter as well as IBC matters are handled by them. Few other matters are still with the registrar or the CLB. So this is what the United States, then the United Kingdom in 1986 they were started. I'm not getting into much because this PPT will be shared to you. This is all what they are doing it, and results are mixed. Chapter 11, you must have heard, in the US that people have done multiple times of chapter 11 in their life. Trump 3 times he did this before coming to the becoming a president here. And then this is what the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. They also Canada, Singapore in COVID-19, they have also started Prepack, which is most like a Indian Prepack. So formulation of Prepack. So Prepack is it is all day to day connected with us. If you relook after whatever I understood, I tell you, then you can relook what you are encountering day to day with your clients, with their balance sheets and all. So preparation before the Prepack is, you have to just see that whether this guy fits into this or not. Normally, what we do, we just directly, if any clients get stress in the business, we tell him that go and do the OTS with the bank. That is what the first advice will be there. And most of my brother, sister would be involved also in this thing, because it's one of the practice of chartered accountants as well as other people also. it is extend to that only. The one extension where it get approved, validated by a tribunal, which is the NCLT. So your decision and along with the lenders come together, understand, accept, and then go to the NCLT, get it approved. That your decision actions become sacrosanct by approving of NCLT. So that is what the difference it is. I'll tell you how it fits into this. So prepackaged insolvency resolution process is a formally typically compromise a plan established between a debtor and the creditor prior to the initiation of the formal corporate insolvency process, which is granted approval on an expedited basis once the formal process starts. The Act introduces a PIP and allows the quicker, most cost-effective and value maximizing insolvency resolution of MSME. And this statement is mine, of course, depends on how the future goes. The process has potential to become the most popular process in the coming times due to its flexibility and revised process, because Chapter 11 is not directly adopted in India so far. This is the refined way of Chapter 11, which will be future for any stress in the business to be resolved. It will be resolved through this, mostly companies and LLPs. So far, government is not notified the partnership and the individuals, but maybe after 3-4 years, once this all get established, infra of all the tribunal and DRT are there, you will see that it will become organized, which I told about equity receivership, which was there in the US. Similar way, it will be also there. You see in next 3-4 years.
Making it applicable in India to MSMEs also.
As of now, it is only for MSME.
Correct.
As of now, it is only for MSME, and the default amount is only 10 lakh rupees.
Oh.
So if you have a 10 lakh rupees of default, then you can go for this process.
Otherwise, normal process. 1 crore and above.
1 crore and above.
So this process has started when? Because during the lockdown, I have never heard.
No, it is came in the lockdown only. 21.
21.
Yeah,
2020, I have not.
Yeah.
So the effect of lockdown, perhaps.
Yes. So, if we see the history, the previous slides where we said that daily 20,000 MSMEs are getting registered. And after that, even if 500 or 300 MSME companies are there, you can see that how the company will survive. And the turnover of MSME, of course, they have increased it now. But earlier, the turnover was hardly, 25, 10 crore, 15 crore also. So it was very difficult to sustain that. So that's the reason government did two things. First thing, they have stopped, they have introduced 10A, which they say there is a moratorium, no insolvency can be initiated now.
Yeah.
Second thing, they said to protect MSME because it was going on. 6 months mein COVID khatam nahi hua. It went on. So what they did to have a protection, they have started this. So this gives the protection to them. As of now, MSME, but MSME definition has been revised. So up to 250 crore rupees turnover. Earlier, we have seen that the balance sheet of around 10 to 50 crore comes into the small, and above that, it's called the medium-sized companies. And most of the chartered accountant, while considering the audit fee, they consider this turnover also. But now it is coming as the MSME only. So in MSME now you can see up to 250 crore rupees turnover company, which is having a 50 crore assets value or assets investment, they can also come into. 50 crore is a higher amount, is a big amount. Out of 50 crore, you may have at least 30 to 40 crore, 50 crore as a loan also. Here it does not say loan, it is default. So 10 lakh rupees default means anything. It can be from creditor, it can be from any your supplier or anyone. 10 lakh rupees default is the signal or is the threshold where you can start this process. Why you need to start the process? That is the thing which we need to understand. And that is where our all professional brother and sister can work on this. The normal process of anyone, I believe those who are practicing as of now, if any business gets default in repayment of loan installments, the first thing what we suggest to them as a chartered accountant, negotiate with somebody said settlement. This is what going on for many years. But again, here the issue is what for MSME mostly. If you settle with the only one bank, Because normally in such small this thing, only one lender and at the most two lenders, not more than that. Then you will still be having a problem because you will not get a working capital. You will not get a credit from the vendors because vendors को बोलेगा भैया ठीक है आपने बैंक का सेटल कर दिया लेकिन मेरा कौन करेगा? So that thing is still open. So that's the reason this process says settlement with everyone, and it is a plan which is certainly with few amendments. It is came from the CRP only. The entire plan has to be put to the lender, stating that along with you, I'll be settling everyone. And that's the reason I am doing this. So it is having an informal and formal process, and accordingly, it can be more useful as compared to OTS. That's what being a chartered accountant, being a practicing company secretary, cost accountant, or any consultant has to understand, including lenders also. There are few preparation has to be done before that. First of all, see that whether this person gets fit into that or not. The fitting into this is the most thing is this, whether the company can survive. This is where our expertise comes. Of course, promoter and entrepreneur will always say, boss, मैं तो आज इतना कर रहा हूँ, आप मुझे 2 करोड़ रुपए दिलवाओ अभी, मैं आपको 10 करोड़ से 25 करोड़ से मेरा टर्नओवर बढ़ा के देता हूँ. He can do it also by putting only entries. Okay. But we need to really see that whether business can survive. If business can survive, it will be having a value, and that tangible value or the enterprise value, that is where you need to play. The one major hurdle in this, the 29-day due diligence. If no one here from the IP, right? Do you understand, sir?
No, I have read IP related, but I have not.
Okay.
29 I'm
okay. So 29 due diligence says that there is a declaration which they have to do that. In short, it says that they have not done the fraud. So any company who is in stress today, the first point comes, if anybody sees the balance sheet, yaar ye to entry घुमा के निकाला है. This is what mostly, if anybody chartered accountant will see that, they will find this way. Here, the first hurdle is this. They have to give a declaration that in 29A due diligence, including other points, they are eligible. They have not done the fraud. Here, being a chartered accountant, if you are handling any clients, those who are coming to this, they have to just see that it is not getting it. So it required a scrutiny. It's required a pre-health check, that how it got into it, which is a different type of work. Feasibility and viability, which is I call about the plan. Repayment plan, if suppose somebody is saying that he needs 3 years for repayment, whether the 3 years repayment will fit, whether the banker's policy also says or not. Say it's required, again, the ecosystem is same. You have to talk to lenders, you have to talk to other vendors or creditors, and then make a one plan. So this plan is required a lot of cross-check. That is what this is the pre-check, which we understand that anybody who wants to come into this, they have to just see that whether they are getting fit into this or not. Being a chartered accountant, we can play a major role in this thing because ऑडिट करते या फिर साइन करते वक्त में ऑडिट पर देखते हमको समझ में आ जाता है कि किसके बैलेंस शीट में क्या स्ट्रेस है, कितना प्रॉब्लम है, कितना मिसमैच है. There only we can guide them, or we can at least see that what process can fit to them. One OTS or the Prepack. Prepack has a life. That is what I'm saying. Prepack has a life because at least it will give you protection for some time because you will have a cooling period.
Due diligence has to be done.
I'll come on to this, but due diligence has to be done. Certainly, promoter himself will not do the due diligence because that will just become like right hand seeing the left hand, right? But here it is the part which professional has to drive. And here 2 stages are there, which we'll cover in the PPT. First stage is this. Second stage which run the process of code process. First stage, most of the chartered accountant, those who are handling such clients, including MSME, stress or a clean. Maybe you can say today it is not having problem, but you can see after 6 months or 1 year, because his sales is down, because his product is getting more competition, it might happen that it may get replaced with the new technology. Then this is an indication comes that this scenario might come. So these all thing is a professional work, professional expertise. Needless to say, it has to be performed by chartered accountant or equivalent, someone who can understand this. I don't think so by anybody else, but mostly chartered accountant only. Those who are working in the resolution or the NPA and restructuring of the business, they can perform well in this. So this is what the section 29A says. This is of 29A of IBC Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. It has to be undischarged insolvent, which most of the criteria people must be facing in all other this also. Willful defaulter nahi hona chahiye. Account of RA, control of RA is declared NPA in preceding 1 year. So ये वाला exemption है. अगर MSME में NPA है तो भी वो prepack कर सकता है, because this exemption is given under section 240 of IBC. D, which is convicted of any offense punishable with imprisonment, disqualified to act as a director, and prohibited by SEBI. Of course, mostly MSME are not listed, so will not have much issue in this. But those now startup which is coming, which is having in this range, might face issue. And we have seen that the startup which is now come from 2018-19, you may see in the 2025 or 26 onwards that they will be coming into this, because a lot of benefits is given to them, which might not, which might not benefit to them, and they might come into this process. So being director in the company where PUFE transaction has taken place and order is made by the adjudicating authority. PUFE is, which is preferential undervalued and fraud and extortion transactions. So these all transactions, if suppose any other company, it has been proved by the adjudicating authority, then they also become ineligible. Guarantor of the CD under insolvency, which is again having exemption. Disability corresponding to 29A in jurisdiction outside India also. Any connected person ineligible under 29A to 29AI. This also assuming आपका कोई भी, आपका मतलब borrower का कोई भी related person अगर ineligible है, then he will also become ineligible. I don't know how many must be remember, but this just came into the SR case. In SR case, Mittal brother in UK, he was having one NPA case.
Yes.
So because of that, some I think Dhoot or other Dhoot or resolution applicants, other resolution applicant, right?
Yeah.
Other resolution applicant raised this point to the NCLT that this is his connected person is having a default in this country. Immediate to that, maybe within a 1 week, they have Mittal paid all this thing to make it as a standard, and then they come here. So, sir, you can see the power in this.
Yeah. It was a news item.
News item. And then he bid for this thing. Here, 29AC as well as 29H. For MSME, it is exempted. So even if it is NPA, even if it is a guarantor of any CD which is insolvency, under insolvency, they're exempted. So it will not impact. They can still be get eligible, but main thing that we should not have a fraud. This is PUFE. So this is we already discussed. Formulation of PRP, which is of course this is a 4th April 2021 amendment of Act 2021, Insolvency and Bankruptcy of India, Prepack Insolvency Resolution Process Regulation 2021, notified by IBBI on 9th April 21. Rules notified by 9th April, and the provision to section 4, government has notified a default amount of 10 lakh rupees, which can be increased to 1 crore in future if suppose they have to match with the CRP, or CRP might have a 10 crore afterwards, or this will have a, depends on how the normal range of business moves in.
This is a very small.
No, for MSME it is not small. Sir. For MSME it is not small. New chapter has been introduced in this 3rd A, and the sections 54A to 54P, 67A to 77 and 77A has been inserted to PPRP in code. So we call it as a PPRP, which is pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. We have discussed about 2017 what the CRP and 2021 PPRP. So you may understand the government mindset when they started 17. Their aim was or objective was to resolve sticky NPAs, put all the what you call stresses it into the again revival mode and put to the economic benefits for the country. In 2021, to protect the MSME, they have introduced this thing. So the objective is different. Here, the protection is for the MSME. The protection and the CRP was to put to use. Again, that sticky NPAs resolve, and what you call relieve the capital of the banks, because it was stuck. NPAs was there, balance sheet of the banks was not improved. So all this, the purpose was this. That time CRP is different, and this is different.
There are many MSMEs had a cash flow issues.
Yes.
With this.
Yes.
So there were apprehended defaults.
Correct.
To avoid that.
Yes, because a lot of GCLC and a lot of benefits were given during the this thing, COVID moratorium. Still, moratorium is going on. So if you look at till date, moratorium is going on, and if I'm not wrong, it is extending up to 2024 March, maybe because government is also going to change after this. So whatever loan was extended during the moratorium, whatever credit guarantee GCLC which was given, most of this are becoming now default. But because the moratorium is going on, still you see that the lenders are not going for the recovery because it is backed by the sovereign guarantee.
Correct.
Few part is backed by the sovereign guarantee, but there are conditions. So you will see that still next 3 to 6 months, you will not find much MSME into the NPA. Afterwards, you will see there will be a flood. There will be flood in MSME, and it is already precasted in their mind because they know when they are extending the loan. That's the reason that this process is there. How to recover? This is what. As well as, of course, OTS, restructuring, everything is available.
Election the
Absolutely. So, anybody has a question, you can please ask also. We can have an interactive session rather than only this, because this is something if you relook in your client balance sheet today, those who are doing very good is not an issue, but you may find and correlate also, and it will be a good advice to the client in case somebody can come into this if they are fitting into the criteria. A lot of time, it's of course business and practice for us. We allow them, okay, sir, thoda sa paisa kahin se bhi aa jayega, to till the time you move on, because sometimes balance sheet ke andar bhi stress nahi dikhta hai because of something we show that some profit will show in the books. But we understand, only we understand when we are signing the balance sheet that what is the truth of the balance sheet. So that's the reason I'm saying you can always correlate. If you have a question, you can ask me also. Why the need and rationale for the introducing PPRP? Of course, this is what the objective of the government I've told you. But there are two codes supervise the statutory options for resolving financial stress, which is CRP, another code, and a scheme of compromise. Many chartered account must be working with regard to Section 230 scheme. Restructuring and all this thing is allowed in that. Two out of court settlement. One is RBI Prudential Framework, which is having a slab, less than 25 crore rupees cannot come into this. Above this can come 100 crore above and or large ticket size also. Informal understanding between a debtor and creditor with or without help of mediator or OTS, whatever you say in that. Anybody can choose in this, okay, what option I have to give to the client. Only thing what need to see that which will be more survival for the longer period. Mostly banks who does the OTS for a client, same promoter, without getting into restructuring, without going to see the new investment in this. Generally, in 2 to 3 years, you will see that fellow will again come for the second OTS or it will become NPA. General trend, you can find out the data and you will come to know. Only thing, by the time that lender, those who had done the restructuring or done the OTS, he gets changed, because normally bankers in 2 to 3 years their tenor, they change from that position to another position. So to that extent, to that time, it is okay to them, because they know that 2 to 3 years वो रहेंगे, तब तक वो NPA नहीं होगा, तब तक चल जाएगा. लेकिन it's not a proper solution, provided it's fit into all this, or if it is having asset, or if it is having a potential. Sorry.
और abuse भी है.
हाँ, of course है.
Window dressing थोड़ा.
बिल्कुल. And वो विंडो ड्रेसिंग भी दोनों तरफ से ही होता है. It is not that कि one can do it, other guys does not understand. It's understand, but we have to have something on record.
वो गवर्नमेंट ने संभाला बैंक को.
हाँ, बिल्कुल संभाला सर. ऑफ कोर्स संभाला, तभी तो. और संभाला भी, और ये देने के बाद में आप देखेंगे सर, तो उनकी बैलेंस शीट इसलिए इंप्रूव हुई है. आप किसी भी बैंक के बैलेंस शीट में अगर आप देखेंगे 1000 करोड़ या 500 करोड़ की रिकवरी डायरेक्टली P&L के अंदर आ रही है, तो रिजल्ट तो डेफिनेटली अच्छा आएगा. With the normal of any loans, advances, interest, or any other profit, if you have a windfall gain directly hitting to the bottom of P&L, because NPA recoveries are directly hitting to the bottom of it, so result will be always good. So that is what the story behind this bankers, public PSU banks. The PSU bank last 1.5 साल में जितने भागे मेरे ख्याल से आज के लास्ट के 25 साल में कभी नहीं भागे.
सही है.
So limitation and other forces. So this is what the creditor in control draws resistance from the promoters of CD. Multiple litigations are there. In CRP, you will find many litigations, because first thing, in India, democracy, anybody can come and challenge anything. That is one thing. Second, promoters will also challenge in case they are not cooperating in that. A lot of other stakeholders, including those who want to buy, they can also come and do the litigation. So multiple litigation will be there in that. Anticipating that creditor will control, no liquid funds left. Any company which is going to into a CRP, you will find that either the assets has been transferred or business has been transferred by stating that it will be doing now job work. So because he knows that if he keeps it, it will not be in his control. So there is a comparison between CRP and PPRP. Of course, both will have a definite different type of advantage and disadvantage. In most of companies, appropriate resolution plan may not come from the market, as most businesses are known to promoters, small business, not big businesses. When the CRP is not completed in time-bound fashion, it causes a lot of diminution in value of the corporate debtor. Asset value depreciate, asset value diminish. CRP fails, CD liquidated. Again, it depends. Until unless you get the proper buyer for that asset, it will not put to use. And it will not put to use, then it will economic asset will go waste. It will go like a scrap only. In the scheme, which is most, I think people must be working under Section 230 scheme, the absence of any moratorium, there is no moratorium that. In a CRP and PPRP, you will get a moratorium. Means the moment it gets admitted into the NCLT, no legal case, no recovery can happen to the corporate debtor, the company, which is not available in any other court. SOCA, which is a scheme of arrangement, requires approval of 75% of creditors or members, as compared to 66% in the creditors members for the CRP. Is binding on the company. SOCA is binding on the company, all the creditor or class of members as the case may be, unlike everyone in case of CRP. SOCA is only for the class of creditors. One is for the financial, one is for the operation. If you see the schemes comes, few of the schemes you see that they will become they bring the NOC from the operation creditors saying that there is no operation creditor, as is only financial creditor will be there, and vis-a-vis also sometimes. But in CRP there is a transparent process. No time limit for the process, has the potential of misuse. Getting approval 75 of all class of creditors is challenge. Small class can also file objection and file for treatment as a separate class, which is 5%. Minority share can come and then they can always create an issue. So RBI, I believe people must be heard about this. In June 2019, circular was there for IBI prudential framework. This was similar to the IBC, but they have made a different framework for a resolution, where without going to the court, lenders inter se agreement, they can do a resolutions. So that resolution called the RBI prudential framework, which was 7 June 2019 circular. It is also allowed resolution, which is NBFC's bank. Anybody can, all the stakeholder can come together with the signing a interest say credit agreement, and then they can resolve it. But there also there is no moratorium. It is an informal process out of court. But there, up to 25 crore rupees or less, they cannot go into that. It has to come to different alternate, not in the RBI framework. Difficult to obtain consent, particularly from creditors like insurance companies, mutual funds, debenture holders, offshore. In RBI framework, all the creditors has to come and sign the inter-se. Signing inter-se by the banks and all the NBFCs is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. If anybody aware that Ambani's two companies, which was Reliance Home, I believe, right? Reliance Home, and one more company was there, and few other more companies. You can say Religer, this thing, Finserv. These all companies resolved through RBI resolution framework. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 crore rupees debt. But to bring everyone on the common, I believe anybody is working in a syndication of loan. So you see how difficult it is to bring everyone to the common platform with a one asset. So similarly, inter-se agreement and all these things are very difficult. In CRP and all, it is bound, because once the order comes, you have to come file the claim. If you not file the claim, you will be out from the system. So it's become a binding on that. So that is, of course, it has a pro and cons on this, advantage, disadvantage, but it has a control through the code, control through the process, and transparency. The plant binds only on the FCs who are signatory to the IC. IC is an inter-se credit agreement. It does not bind on OCs. Again, the issue comes with the OCs. So why PPRP? Anyone has any question, you may please ask. So PPRP has the features which makes CRP sacrosanct and has the rigor as a discipline of the CRP. It is not CRP, it is not a creditor in control, it is a debtors in possession. The borrower and the promoter will continue his business. It will not be taken over by the creditors, not as RP will not control his business, it will only monitor. It is informal up to the point and formal thereafter, because it has a two-stage. One is pre-admission to the NCLT and post-admission to the NCLT. It blends of debtor in possession with creditors in control. It neither the fully private nor a fully public process. It allows the company, if eligible under 29A, to submit the base solution plan, which is exposed to challenge for value maximization. Simple thing, as a borrower, entrepreneur, if I say to bank that मेरी company को आप कितनी तरह से भी कर लो, value, enterprise value as well as very asset value is 15 crore rupees, and I'm giving that 15 crore in this manner. Bank says okay, but we still want to test it. They can go for testing. Call from anyone this bids through the process. And if they find above 15 crore rupees, it's okay. If not, then let the borrower take it. So this is called this, pre-agreed settlement. It safeguards the rights of the stakeholder as much in the CRP and has adequate checks and balance to prevent any potential misuse. It entails a limited role of the courts and RP. Unlike CRP, does not yield any resolution plan. If there is no resolution plan, then again the process can be started. The process of PRP. So eligibility is this. We have discussed about section, any MSME in the section 1 of section 7 of the subsection 1 of section 7 of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Act 2006 is eligible to apply for registration of PRP. Eligibility is now Uddham Aadhaar. कोई भी online registration ले सकता है. It is very simple, not having any fees also. They should be registered with the MSME. That is what the precondition. Default of 10 lakh rupees. Eligible to submit registration plan under section 29A, which we have discussed. Not undergone PPRP during the last 3 proceedings year. Not completed the CRP during the last 3 proceedings year. Is not undergone a CRP and is not required to be liquidated by under the order of section 33 of the IBC code. So this is all the condition. मतलब आप 3 साल आपने अगर default पहले हो गया है PPR CRP का, तो you can't go back again PPRP. You can't start the PPRP within 3 years. After 3 years only you can again go. In chapter 11 में उनका भी एक cooling period है. उसके बाद ही आप कर सकते हो. ऐसा नहीं कि हर साल के अंदर आप जाए और chapter 11 चालू कर दिया. Liquidate हो चुके हो आप, तो then you can't come into the PPR. So category of MSME is this, of course, investment plan and all. Overview of PPRP. So this is the informal process and formal process. So informal is pre-initiation phase is largely informal. The informality at pre-initiation stage offer flexibility for CD and his creditor to swiftly explore and negotiate the best way to resolve stress. Formal, where post-initiation largely formal, it is driven by the NCLT and the entire process is driven here.
पर ज्यादा करके प्री प्रोसेस में पुलिस सर्विस करते हैं
Sorry, sir.
प्री इनिशिएशन में करते हैं लोग फाइल करने के पहले कोर्ट में जाने के पहले लोग सेटल करते हैं हम बेस्ड ऑन प्रैक्टिकल
Settle करते हैं means, sir.
समझो ना इनिशिएट कर देते हैं कि मैं आपको पेमेंट कर देंगे अभी आप माफ कर
नहीं सर, आई जस्ट टेल यू इसमें इसमें कैसा है सर, इसमें जो है borrower has to go. Assuming if I am a borrower and you are lender,
Yeah.
I have to come to you. Lender will not tell you that you do this thing.
मेरे को याद
Formally, informally it may happen, but formally it can. So being a borrower, I have to come to you. Normally, or how I'll come? I'll say 2-3 options are there. Sir, मेरा OTS इतना है. अगर मेरी प्रॉपर्टी ये है और मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट इतना आने वाला है, मैं इन्वेस्टर लेके आऊंगा, आप मेरा सेटलमेंट करो. बैंक को अगर फिजिबल रहेगा तो वो बोलेगा यस. बोलेगा सर नहीं आपको फिजिबल, तो मैं दूसरे प्रोसेस के थ्रू आता हूँ. वो बोलेगा मैं CRB में चल जाता हूँ, सर आप जहां आपको सही लगे आप कर लीजिएगा उस हिसाब से. सेकेंड थिंग वो बोलेगा सर मैं इसके साथ में मेरे बाकी और भी लेंडर्स वेंडर्स हैं, क्रेडिटर्स हैं, मैं सबको साथ सेटल करना चाहता हूँ, मैं आपका भी दूंगा उनका भी दूंगा. आई एम गिविंग दिस प्रपोजल. वो प्रपोजल और आपका OTS का प्रपोजल, देयर इज सम डिफरेंस. वो डिफरेंस ही हमारा मेन है. एंड इन दिस एंटायर प्रोसेस इनफॉर्मल प्रोसेस इज द मेन वर्क. एंड मोर और लेस most of chartered accountants, those who have practice of 5 to 10 years, are doing it informally or maybe formally. Yeah. Only thing is this: we are not, promoting prepacks because awareness of prepack is not there, and there are hiccups from the lender side also, because lenders understand यार तू भाई मेरा कर दे यार, तू बाकी तेरा देखते रहना, किसको देना नहीं देना मेरा एक बार कर दे. प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, MSME वो नहीं कर पाते. जहां पे प्रॉपर्टी है, जहां पे कैश फ्लो दिखता है, या फिर कोई ऐसी नॉन कोर एसेट्स है जिसको वो डाइल्यूट करके और सेल करके दे कैन टेक द मनी, देन दे विल हैप्पीली डू इट, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड द सरफेसी एक्शंस एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स. बट इफ इट इज नॉट देयर, देन व्हाट दे विल डू, दे विल गो विद द प्रमोटर, बोले कि भाई OTS कर ले 30%, 50%, 60%, जो भी वॉट एवर इज फिक्स्ड. Then the task comes, पेमेंट कब आएगा. OTS तो एग्री कर लिया, लेकिन OTS एग्री में ये होता है कि विद इन 30 days या 3 months के अंदर पेमेंट करना होता है, अदरवाइज OTS नहीं चलता है. यहाँ पे MSME नहीं कर पाती, क्योंकि अगर कैश फ्लो होता था तो वो ऑलरेडी बिजनेस में यूज करके वो पे कर देता था. So that is where the issue. Now the lenders do not understand this. उनके लिए उनका पॉलिसी है, पॉलिसी में ये क्लियर है कि भैया OTS करेगा तो ये स्ट्रक्चर है, नॉन OTS में है तो हम सर्फेसी में ये करके देंगे. अगर मान लो मेरे को ये चीज सब नहीं बैठ रहा है तो मैं CRB में लेके जाऊंगा. CRB में MSME कंपनी को ले जाके जहां पे 5 से 10 करोड़, 15 करोड़, 25 करोड़, 50 करोड़ का है, डिफिकल्ट है, क्योंकि बिजनेस जो है वो मोस्टली प्रमोटर ड्रिवन रहता है. अगर वो मार्केट में जाएगा तो वही क्रेडिट लेके आएगा, वो मार्केट में जाएगा तो वही खरीदारी करके लाएगा, क्योंकि परचेजिंग इज ऑल्सो स्किल्स if your input and outputs are different. So these all are a typical business, which bankers also understand, but they are bound, they are bound by their process. OTS is preferred to anyone inside the lenders or or NBFC and all, because there is a first option, फटाफट लो दो खत्म करो. बट वो हर जगह हो नहीं पाता है, क्योंकि OTS में बोरोवर को चाहिए 1-2 साल का टाइम, बोरोवर वो लेंडर दे नहीं पाता है, तो वो फेल होता है. इसीलिए इस प्रोसेस को अगर हम इनफॉर्मल प्रोसेस के साथ लेके चलें और उसको फॉर्मल करें, आप अगर किसी को भी किसी की बैलेंस शीट में अगर हमको स्ट्रेस दिख रहा है, वी कैन ओनली सी दैट whether it can get survived if it goes into this process. If it is only having 1 or 2 default which can be settled over there, then it's better to settle over there, whatever way is required. There are different places of arbitration also. Any industrial zone are having their own arbitrator, their own mediator. to do this thing. There are a lot of process. Even MSME court is also having that. A lot of facilities they have given, a lot of protection they have given, but execution does not happen. That is the main problem. Execution, if you see in last 5 years, sir was asking whether it is WIP or whether it is right. So here you can see the result. You can see the executions. SR is now changed the hands. SR के अंदर इतना profit during the process also is done. Afterwards, lender were fighting that कि ये EBITDA भी हमको दीजिए, which they said कि EBITDA cannot be given because they were not part of plan. They have earned a lot of money during the process also. It is only fun, but there are a lot of other companies also. वो execution यहाँ पे easy दिखता है. If you do by this process, you will get the process easy and for the entire things. Informal process में sir, chartered accountants, those who are working with the promoters, only can help them. OTS is one and only for the one bank, but this prepack is for everyone. Here you have to give a plan which covers all your vendors, all your lenders, and all your statutory creditors also. Of course, you have to drive it, say that whether it can be done, and it can be done n number of times. N number of times till time you reach to the conclusion or consent with the lenders. पैसा नहीं, प्रपोजल देते जाओ. पैसा तो आपको बीच में देना अगर है आपको पैसा दीजिए, लेकिन प्रपोजल देते जाइए. कितनी बार प्रपोजल देंगे, डिस्कशन होगा, फॉर्मल होगा, इनफॉर्मल होगा. अगर अप्रूव हो जाता है तो बहुत अच्छा है. जब अप्रूव हो गया, then you have to start in the formal process. So that is the beauty. You are not stopping anywhere. So, is it visible? Zoom is it Zoom is there? No, but visible. So this entire PPRP is having it in this chart. Of course, if you see the last long column, which says the mutual understanding, list of creditors, identification of IP to act as IP, declaration of majority, directors, shareholder resolution, consent of majority, unrelated FCs, report of RP, application to AA Educating Authority NCLT for admission, updated list of claims, preliminary information memorandum, base solution plan. Now, this is all the concept which work into this thing. Now, what happens if this is the formal process? Informal process we already discussed. Informal process is what is your regular process where you go to the any lender, being a promoter, even a plan. If you agree, then I'll come with my process where I'll be bringing a resolution plan where you have to call the meetings and all this thing. Then the process starts for that. But पहले का negotiation plan, repayment plan, which I told you that the preconditions, you have to prepare the plan, repayment plan, and then you have to go to the lenders. So ये काम most of the times only can be done along with the promoter is a chartered accountant. Those who understand their balance sheet, those who understand their business. Other people will be very difficult to work on this. That's the reason I'm saying this is the work of chartered accountants, those who are working with the promoters, MSMEs, or a large MSME, small MSME. Maybe in future we'll see that this MSME definition can also be, the limit can also increase, as well as this is also going to come. Prepack is also going to come like a chapter 11 for the large corporates. Large corporate means not MSME.
Some turnover.
Yeah, no, it might also come like a chapter 11 to the all, not only for the MSME. Today the MSME protection is there, but so far MSME protection or default is not showing. That's the reason you will not see many cases. But once you see that, the people will come into this thing. So we are talking today when the CRP and this was started in 2014. BLRC was started in 2014-15, and then Mr. Jaitley and all started that discussion. Of course, 2006-7 से भी discussion हुआ था, लेकिन उस वक्त में उन्होंने इसको reform करके डाला. 3 साल 4 साल लगे थे, तब जाके 17-18 में हुआ था. तो अभी भी जो प्रीपैक है डिस्कशन हो चुका है, इंप्लीमेंट हो रहे हैं, लेकिन the effect and benefit still not been reached because it is on a grassroots level has to work. Once the chartered accountant or the people, those who are working with the promoter of MSME and all, till time they do not understand that how it is benefited, this will be very difficult to implement in their own business. It requires a lot of efforts to understand the business. We cannot only just say that ये process में चल जाओ आपका हो जाएगा. It has to be analyzed whether business will survive or not, because if any wrong declaration, any fraud, any wrong data, there is a penalty of 1 crore rupees. Any wrong declaration by the promoter of 29A, penalty of 1 crore rupees. Of course, along with the imprisonment by 3 to 5 years.
तो पहले से ही नहीं पैसा देते वो पेनल्टी क्या लगेगा?
सर वो जेल जाएगा, इसलिए एंड है और नहीं है. तो प्रोसेस है सर, ये बेनिफिट्स दिए हैं गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से. इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, many of us, I am talking about me also, and many of us also are not aware how many MSME benefits schemes are available to the MSMEs. Different sectors, different zones, urban MSMEs or rural MSMEs, state-wise भी है. Industrial, many chartered accountants are working industrial schemes. हर के एरिया के अंदर जो स्कीम्स होती हैं, people are working. You may talk about Nagpur, you may talk about any other industrial zone area और कपड़ा मार्केट, हर जगह के कुछ ना कुछ इंसेंटिव स्कीम्स हैं. सूरत में अलग चलता है, बट इट इज लिमिटेड टू दैट ओनली. सो
जो गुजरात में काम करते हैं वो दूसरा कोई नहीं करता.
गुजरात के अंदर तो अभी वो IFSI में चल रहा है, दूसरा फिर सूरत में, फिर बाद में इधर गांधीनगर के अंदर यहाँ पे बहुत सारी स्कीम्स है, बहुत सारी स्कीम्स है. पर उस स्कीम को इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करें, उसका बेनिफिट कैसे लें. अभी आज सब्सिडीज आपने देखा होगा, बीच में सब्सिडीज, कोल्ड स्टोरेज लगाने के लिए सब्सिडीज मिलती थी. लोग लैंड लेके कोल्ड स्टोरेज लगा के सब्सिडीज लेके जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि 100% था, मतलब आप इतना इन्वेस्ट करो उसके ऊपर आपको गवर्नमेंट इतना देगी. दीज ऑल स्कीम्स आर अवेलेबल, बट ये वो बेनिफिट तभी है जब वो आगे बिजनेस सर्वाइव हो. अदरवाइज हमारा काम हो जाता है, हमारी फीस मिल जाती है, बाद में हम चलता है कि 5 साल बाद में वो कंपनी NPA हो गई. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग हियर द मेजर वर्क ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हु knows their balance sheet of client's balance sheet, where it can fit.
तो सब्सिडी वक्त पे आती है.
सर बिल्कुल आती है. कैसे आती है वो आप सबको मालूम है, लेकिन आती है.
मतलब वहाँ भी रिसोर्सफुल में दिखा है.
सब कहते हैं ना वो बिजनेस भले ही इंडिया में हो कि चाइना में हो, कहीं पे भी हो, व्यवहार तो होता ही है. वो व्यवहार को अपन ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दैट इज कॉल्ड द कस्टमरी प्रैक्टिस व्हिच हैज टू बी टेकन केयर.
If this gets extended to the bigger companies, NCLT के ऊपर का प्रेशर काफी कम हो जाएगा.
हाँ, certainly. Of course, there will be a still small pressure on that, but lot of discussion, lot of what you call litigation can dilute over it. Because once we are coming with a pre-arranged an agreement, then the litigation will be very few. May come, but very few. लिमिटेड वन. सर NPS भी है ना, अभी के जो NPS आ रहे हैं वो आ रहे हैं आपके 2016, 17 और 14, 15 वाले. जो आपके 2010, 12 तक के NPS है ना, उसमें मोस्टली NPS अभी रिजॉल्व हो चुके हैं. दोज हु केम इनटू द NCLT. जो नहीं आए अभी तक वो अभी भी पड़े हुए हैं, क्योंकि बहुत जगह बैलेंस शीट में कितनी बैंक्स की बैलेंस शीट में पड़ी हुई है, अभी तक पड़ी है, क्योंकि वो भी ध्यान नहीं दे रहे, अपनी ध्यान नहीं दे रहे. So this process shows from the day once it's admitted into the prepack. There's a 2 stage. One stage is informal, which is yeah, no issue. Yeah, I can close anytime. Not an issue.
Because I just have to prepare for this.
Yeah, no issue.
45
Yeah,
minutes.
yes. So informal process we have discussed. Anytime, number of time you can go to the bank, you can go to the client, you can put all these schemes, you can discuss and negotiate, agree, whatever. Once it agreed, once the process has been approved formally by the lender, it's required a 66% approval of financial lender. Assuming X company is having 2 financial lender, SBI or BOB, कितना के दोनों का लोन है, उसके हिसाब से 66% तक का वोटिंग शेयर होना चाहिए उनका, क्योंकि लोन के हिसाब से उनको वोटिंग शेयर मिलेगा. अगर 25 करोड़ रुपए लोन है, उसमें से एक का किसी का 15 करोड़ है, किसी का 10 करोड़ है, तो दोनों का मिला के 66, एक जने का 66 नहीं बैठ रहा है, तो दोनों का मिला के 66 से अबव होना चाहिए, तो इसके लिए यहाँ पे दोनों का अप्रूवल लगेगा। तो 66 अप्रूवल अगर फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर ने दे दिया, then you have to go to the NCLT, borrower has to go to NCLT and say that now I'm admit myself into the Prepack, and then this process starts. So if A admits the application, PRP comments, the RP constitute COC. COC RP is resolution profession because appoint होता है वो T+7 days में, तो जिस दिन order आया उसके 7 days के अंदर COC constitute होगी. It has a 120 days process, 90 days plus 30 days for the NCLT. आधा हो गया. CRP 180 days plus 90 days extension. यहाँ पे extension का बात नहीं किया अभी तक कोड के अंदर, but again with the natural justice and all depends, we can go and ask for this extension, but it is not mentioned in the code so far. So CD means corporate debtor, submits BRP means base resolution plan, which you get agreed with the lenders. Base is called the BRP. And BRP does not have any impairment for the operation creditors. It's protect that operation creditor को आप settlement scheme में impair नहीं कर रहे हो, 100 का 100 दे रहे हो. कब दे रहे हो अलग बात है, लेकिन 100 का 100 दे रहे हो. Now, if CD submits the BRP and there is no impairment, COC may approve the BRP. COC means constitutional COC, वहां पे बोला उन्होंने हम BRP है, they can approve the BRP. अगर वहां पे impairment है, so then it goes like this, if there is a COC may not approve, then no plan is received, BAP is significantly better than, this all process will go. You have to call for the better plan. You have to also see that the BAP, which is a best alternative plan, COC may call for that. In this also is mentioned, if suppose you are impairing any operation creditor's claim or amount, you have to dilute your equity. So you have to bring investors. And in case you don't do all these things and still COC approves it, then COC has to record the reason why they are doing it. Well, it cannot happen just because of my whims and fancy. I just write it, okay, I'm approving it. Because it is subject to scrutiny by NCLT also. So that's the reason it has to write the reason. Now, in case COC may approve the BRP, plan submitted to AA for approval. This is 90th day से पहले आपको plan approve के लिए AA educating authority को आपको submit करना है, and then within 30 days they're supposed to give the order. In my case, which is a Sudal Industries Limited, first Prepack case, which is Canara Bank, has approved the base resolution plan. We went for this PPRP. Within 113 days, entire process of NCLT get closed, order received, payment done to the lender, matter closed.
NCLT पास है इसके ऊपर कैसे प्रायोरिटी मिलता है कैसे?
नहीं सर, ये प्रीपैक के लिए तो कोड में लिखा हुआ है कि NCLT has to give order in 30 days of plan.
वो तो CRP में लिखा है.
वो एडमिशन के लिए 14 days लिखा था.
हाँ, पर वो तो एडमिशन भी बहुत सारा नहीं हुआ है.
वो उसका एक अलग रीजन चला है. इसके अंदर कोड में लिखा है एंड दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि इसमें क्या है सर, सब कुछ अप्रूव्ड है पहले से. What they need to just see, what they need to see कि there is no fraud and there is no non-compliance of the process.
तो ये प्रायोरिटी बेसिस पे वहां पे लिस्ट.
बिल्कुल नहीं, प्रायोरिटी बेसिस पे अभी तक गवर्नमेंट ने डिफाइन नहीं किया है, बट वंस प्रीपैक इज बीन फाइल्ड दे विल टेक इट कि प्लान अप्रूवल के लिए डाल, क्योंकि और कोई तरीका ही नहीं है इसमें ना. नॉर्मली सीआरपी के अंदर प्लान अप्रूवल डालते वक्त में क्या होता है ना, बहुत सारी पहले से आगे लग जाती है. इसमें कुछ है नहीं ऐसा. इसको अप्रूवल देना पढ़ के एक बार, और मोस्टली कर देते हैं. मेरे केस में इमीडिएटली फर्स्ट ईयर में हो गया, 113 डेज में ऑर्डर बाहर. एंड सुडाल इंडस्ट्रीज लिमिटेड जो है, इट इज अ बीएससी लिस्टेड कंपनी, करीबन 9 साल से एनपीए, सारी सीडीआर एसडीआर सब देख चुके हैं. पर एक ही चीज थी कि बिजनेस कंटिन्यू था, कभी उसने कंपनी क्लोज नहीं किया था. लॉस बढ़ रहा था और मतलब प्रॉफिट मार्जिन नहीं है वेयर यू कैन नाउ पे टू द लेंडर्स. कैपिटल इज बीइंग कंज्यूम्ड कंटायरली, बट एसेट वाज देयर. सो अगर आप एसेट को डिस्पोज कर दोगे तो कंपनी क्लोज हो जाएगी, राइट. So the thing is how to resolve. You get some hands, you give an investment, and then you improve it. So it's done. और within 113 days 90 days के अंदर हमारा प्लान सबमिट हुआ, within 30 days के अंदर प्लान अप्रूव हुआ, it's done. So that is what the beauty in this thing. And with बाकी सारे litigation खत्म. You got a moratorium also in this thing. First case जहाँ पे PSU बैंक ने अप्रूव किया, because PSU बैंक are not doing it. मतलब PSU में no other banks are coming into this. They mostly prefer that कि मुझे OTS करके मिल जाएगा तो मुझे क्या दिक्कत है, बाकी मुझे क्या देखना, उसका जी का जंजाल है जो भी करना, ऑपरेशन क्रिएटर वगैरह.
तो साथ में लेके चलना होगा.
That is not their priority. So that is the main problem.
उसमें हेयर कट ज्यादा है.
That is what they think so. But it's not necessary कि हेयर कट जाएगा. जो सामने वैल्यू है, सपोज वो कल को सरफेसी में भी लेंगे, वैल्यूएशन कराना पड़ेगा. अगर वैल्यूएशन में एसेट की वैल्यू जो है, अगर 100 रुपए लोन के सामने 30 रुपए ही आ रही है, तो they have to give auction of 30 rupees only. They can't ask 100 rupees over there. Similar process here also. So it's only the matter that whether you accept this fact today or you wait for some time more time that ठीक है मेरा टर्न निकल जाएगा, कोई दूसरा आएगा उसको देख लेगा. करेक्ट. सो ये प्रोसेस है. बट यहाँ पे ही चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और पीपल लाइक अस एंड ऑल हैज टू वर्क विद बोथ साइड and convince that this process will give you more benefit because your actions has been confirmed and approved by giving a resolution, by giving an order from the NCLT. Because if somebody scrutinize my action and then approve it, what else you need? It is supported by the court. Nobody can again go in the CVC. Mostly the issue in the banks is CVC, vigilance cell. This is attached with the CBI and all. Afterwards, you see if any action you have taken, tomorrow it can, no, anybody can come and raise the question. But if it has been done with the court approved process, nobody can raise question. Of course, you have to do transparent way and all. Nobody can raise question. This is what the beauty of this thing, which is people are not understanding as of now. Once we see that a lot of stress will come in MSME, you will see this is the only option is better. Because in MSME, you can't do the OTS. You will not get a what do you call value immediately. Second thing, along with the lender, double of that amount would be for the vendors because MSME के साथ में जितने लोगों का काम चलता है, वो सारे लोगों का पैसा बाकी रहेगा. So it is the best practice for that. Okay, so this is how it goes. And prepack process, if suppose there is if suppose COC wants that we need to challenge the BAP, they can ask for the EUI, which normally people must be seeing the expression of interest. They will call, they will ask if somebody wants to pay more than 15 crore of this asset, which is again, revalidation of your decision. If somebody comes and pay that I can pay more than 15 crore rupees this thing, well and good, take it out. If not, then your action is now been approved, revalidation is done, discovery of price is done. Your action has been approved by the educating authority. The file
काउंटर ऑफर भी कर सकते हैं अगर मुझे किसी ने आया
क्या स्विच चैलेंज होता है? Yes, sir. स्विच चैलेंज भी होगा. Open bidding, स्विच चैलेंज, everything is possible in this thing. And double A मतलब educating authority का order के बाद में your responsibility gets spread with everyone. That is the major benefit. OTS में जो बंदा करता है उसका साल 2 साल के बाद में अगर डिफॉल्ट होगा तो वापस नोटिस इश्यू होगा भाई क्यों आपने कैसे किया था. And it has happened lot of cases you must be seeing in the newspaper also that they arrested or there was a settlement or there was a wrong settlement. Yeah. So this is what the step-by-step process of pre-admission. Of course, it requires a lot of forms and all this thing. I believe it will take a lot of time you to understand the forms in this, but I can just tell you in brief.
similar to the CRP process.
A bit different, but of course, somebody who understands CRP, they can understand better in this thing. Okay, so I'll just take you in the brief because there are a lot of forms are there which will require a lot of discussion with the form because form filling is the major part in this, which again people like us or people like you have to give professional services to the borrower. So it required a process from the day once the borrower choose this process, and willing to go to the lender. I'm talking now formally. Informally, discussion, everything has been done. Now, what they have to do, they have to now first call the board meetings or the general meeting, get this approval. They have to first get this approval among all the shareholders that we are going for this pre-pack insolvency. Along with this, they have to prepare a resolution plan. The forms are there in this thing. We will share this PPT with you. These are all the forms and sections. Regulation, this is all the timeline, which is 90 days is been defined what all things you have to do. And our work is a very tight air work. Every day we have to see that this work has been done. And we cannot take a Saturday, Sunday in between.
Yeah.
It does not, it starts from the clock days admit and 90 days count, including Saturday, Sundays admit. So very much timeline driven. And if any timeline lapse in this, the compliances issues comes while approving of the plan. So once you file the resolution that we are going for the pre-pack, along with the resolution, there is the forms and the base resolution plan. These all things, a first part has to be done by the professional. According to me, those professional will be mostly will be chartered accountant, those who are working with the MSME borrower, or their close consultant, financial consultant who understand their business and understand the banking. Those only can do this thing. So I would like to say that this is the work which, if most of the people are doing in the informal way of OTS, they can relook and see that how their client can benefit in this thing. With that process, once you make this all, you have to go to the lenders, call for the meeting, get it approved in the meeting by the voting. Along with the voting, there also one resolution professional will be appointed by the lenders. That meeting voting result as well as the plans all has to be now submit to the AA Education Authority for initiation of the pre-pack. So this is all the forms are there. Form 1 for application for initiating this thing. Form P1. This, if you see in the CRP, there is a different form. In PRP, there is a different form. P1, P2, P3. The chronological number is different. It is not starting from the action. It is the form number they have given differently. Declaration regarding existence of ordinance P7, P6 a declaration by director, P5 written consent by the act as a AR. AR is the authorized representative. Approval of initiating of this is a P4. Actually, P4 should be come after P7, but वो जो number है वो उनके थोड़ा सा haphazard है. But this is all the process and forms. These forms and this is a part of the pre-pack process. Once you get approved by the COC that this is okay to go to NCLT, you file the NCLT, and then NCLT gives you order, you start PPRP. From there, your timeline starts. Before that process, whatever process happens, this is the pure work of professionals, which can be done by the another IP, which is more suitable, or can be done by the chartered accountant or the financial consultant. It's a big work, very big work. In case if you do of any client, it required from the day of starting understanding the business, preparing a plan, which is called as a project report, जैसे बोल सकते हैं, and then see all the transition, whether the 29 transition gets fits or not. That is a big task. How many of you are doing IBA? What do you call forensic audit? No, nobody. So if you do the forensic audit, similar thing you have to think also here. If what all the transaction can be qualified as a fraudulent. So 29 check is very important. Who will do all this thing? It's done by the chartered accountant only. So a lot of work is there and a lot of teamwork is there in this, because one chartered accountant may not be able to do everything. There's a chain which has to be made and identification of the borrower which is required, that whether it will fit into this or not. Then the process goes for calling the meetings and all. Form has to be dealt. In this process, there is no need to file a claim. Whatever claims, whatever balance sheet creditors are there. Borrower has to declare that these creditors are my creditors. As a RP, it has to be re-verified. But again, it is if any wrong declaration done by the borrower, then it will be a problem. Of course, RP has to also verify, but this all has to be given by the borrower. So all this support work also has to be done by the chartered accountant, because borrower, those who are handling this business, will not able to handle all this process. So it requires from both sides of the profession. Once it is formally, then also other side, which borrower side, somebody as a profession has to handle this. So work can be done in both sides, as a chartered accountant and as a resolution professional also. Normally what we do, we have a team which works in both sides along with the chartered accountant for the client, and then we work on this. And then once the process of 90 days over, RP has to file an application to the NCLT for approval of plan, which within 30 days they're supposed to approve it. So if you see this, all the forms are there. I just now take you to the cases. So 5 minutes more. So yeah.
Because basically, I think I'm applying only for business entities and corporates, right?
As of now, LLP, so LLP and only a private limited.
What is the
So non-corporate as of now is not come. That's the reason I told you that every day 20,000 MSME is registered. Out of this, hardly 300 or 200 must be for the private company or LLP. So that is still open. There are lot of
individuals?
no, so far is not in this thing. But there are a lot of other options like MSME code and all this are there. But it's all are not effective. There is a provision in the code for individuals and the partnership firms insolvency also. If you recollect, 1920 presidency insolvency law is there, you know, which is called about the personal law, personal insolvency, you know. But that is not effective. People, those who have done this thing, still 20-25 साल से चल रहे हैं cases. ये कोड में notify नहीं हुआ because infra is required. Today NCLT के पास में इतने cases हैं, they are not able to handle it. DRT is already failed. Lot of cases are there, they are not able to, you know, resolve the cases. But the DRT also came into the same thing. It is also effective law, but it could not implement properly. At least IBC is giving much more, you know, better result. Similarly, now once it gets settled, and if you see that, you know, entire process of CRP or process of exit route or process of NPA for the corporates and the LP gets settled, I believe government will notify that also. Provision is already there, and the provision is there only for 1,000 rupees. If you have default of 1,000 rupees, you can go for this. But it may not be feasible because it will require a lot of infra. Lot of infra in each city, in each is, you know,
so many cases.
I believe it will be go by the area wise also.
The MSME portal works or doesn't work? Its resolution, मतलब छोटे लोग जो हैं, जो MSME portal पे भी there are some things which are there you can complain and.
हाँ, वो है
They
सर.
function?
हाँ, this functions. But
छोटे लोगों के लिए फिलहाल के लिए वो ऑप्शन.
हाँ, देखिए छोटे लोगों के लिए फिलहाल के लिए ऑप्शन वो है, लेकिन ये ऑप्शन भी अवेलेबल है.
नहीं, I'm not talking 10 lakhs का क्राइटेरिया, 10 lakhs के नीचे भी होते हैं MSME.
वो तो MSME कोड है ना.
कोड है, वो जो पोर्टल का भी उन्होंने कुछ.
पोर्टल पे भी कंप्लेंट्स वगैरह डाला है. Is there, you can do, and there is a resolution also. There is a static which says that this is resolved. But how much is resolved, whether it is really beneficial, it all depends. See and believe वाला चीज है. But हाँ, but normally आप देखोगे तो it is not having much impact. Because वो छोटे complaints होंगे जो वहीं पे resolve हो सकते हैं. So that's okay. But MSME कोर्ट भी है. MSME कोर्ट के अंदर भी 45 days में if you don't pay, you put a complaint, you get the order and all. But execute कैसे करोगे? क्योंकि अगला वाला भी दूसरा वाला भी कोई MSME होगा या कोई छोटा होगा, तो एग्जीक्यूशन कैसे करोगे? तो मेन थिंग इज एग्जीक्यूशन कैसे होगा ऑर्डर्स का. अगर मुझे किसी से 10 लाख रुपए निकालने, कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दे दिया, तो मेरे पास में आज क्या तरीका? आई हैव टू गो फॉर द डिक्री, आई हैव टू गो फॉर द एग्जीक्यूशन, आई हैव टू अरेंज एवरीथिंग. So this is all the cases so far. If somebody remembers that there was a FM statement in the parliament stating that the 6 cases has been done. Out of this, Sudal Industries, which we have done it, मुंबई का एक है, बाकी श्री राजस्थान टेक्सटाइल is also where the SBI and IDBI है, but it was done afterwards to us. And बाकी 2-3 you can see that this is having a lot of benefit, but it's still not popular as compared to CRP. नहीं sir, it has been not given a priority. Why? Both sides. Lender is also hesitant because they understand that कि यार इसमें तो हमको पहले से प्रॉब्लम आएगी और who will take decision. CRP तो कैसा है ना, CRP में तो पहले कोर्ट एडमिशन लेता है तो हमारे पास माना है, यहाँ तो मुझे पहले एग्री करना है, तो मैं एग्री कैसे करूँ? I have to come with a clean hands. So that is the issue. Second, borrower बोलता है यार मुझे इतने सब कंपनों में क्या पता है, मेरे पास धंधा करना है, मैं सब चीजों में नहीं पड़ता, बैंक के पास जाऊंगा, सेटल करूंगा, काम हो जाएगा. लेकिन the problem is what? The problem of working capital, problem of industry, other what do you call the connected industry from where he borrows or from he gets a credit, वो नहीं होता सर. अगर किसी भी MSME को अगर क्रेडिट नहीं मिला या माल नहीं मिला इनपुट में, तो इट कैनॉट सर्वाइव. भले कितना कैपिटल दे दीजिए, कैश बेसिस में मिलता नहीं माल, सॉरी कैश बेसिस के ऊपर आप सर्वाइव नहीं हो सकते. सो इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. अब नाउ व्हाई इट हैज टू बी चूजन, इट हैज टू बी आइडेंटिफाइड कि whether it can be settled with the one lender and then finish up OTS, or whether it can be done through this prepack. Prepack will give you holistically approach to all the creditors, including lender and the vendors. OTS will give you only one, which is one side, and there is a commitment of capital. Any delinquency in this, again you have to come and become an NPA. Here, the chance is that you will get whatever way you want to give your plan, and this is approved by the lenders. It's binding. It's binding on everyone, including your operation creditors. Every day they cannot come and say, "नहीं मेरा पैसा आज का दो, ये प्लान में ये एग्री हुआ है, इसके हिसाब से आपको पैसा मिलेगा." You have to honor it. This will be the future, maybe couple of years afterwards, because as of now, a lot of issue of CRP as well as a lot of benefits from the government of COVID is still going on. Once you see that is stopped, lenders have now moved out from the moratorium. Recently there was a news, because MSME का वो moratorium खत्म हो रहा था September के end में, they have increased it. If I'm not wrong, they have increased up to March 24. But it cannot be indefinite period. Somewhere it has to close. The moment it closes, in that year you will see the flood. Two type of cases, MSME as well as the private loans. Both will see a lot of delinquencies, lot of NPA, lot of default. The new loans which has been given now, it will take some more time by the corporates and all to get default in this, because business is going on now. जो कर रहे हैं अच्छा बिजनेस को टाइम चलेगा, लेकिन ये सर्वाइव होना मुश्किल होता है, क्योंकि ठीक है some portion of GCLC and all will be backed by the government guarantee, but not all the loans, and there also conditions are there. You have to fulfill that condition, then only you can bring the case to the government to pay to them. Government is also aware that 1 lakh crore rupees which they have set aside, I don't know how much, if I'm not wrong, somewhere the big amount is there, which they say कि GCLC में इतना अभी तक लोन disburse हुआ है या इस पीरियड में जितना हुआ उसका, it is all backed by the government. This thing, whatever amount I'm not aware, but I believe it is a big amount, big amount. So वो पूरा amount sovereign guarantee से back है, तो lenders को issue नहीं है. लेकिन जिस दिन ये moratorium से हट गया और उसके बाद में when they go for the claim to the government, it will take a lot of time. So it's better to see that the resolution happens in this. So Sudal was, of course, is a listed company, and this is how we done it. We have worked.
So you worked as an advisor?
No, I worked as an RPO.
RPO.
And we have also worked on the other part. This is what?
It's not on the screen, no?
This is not on the screen. Okay.
It's on the television.
Okay. So within T+122, if you can see, it is closed. So before this, whatever negotiation has been done, we've done. But after that, within 120 days, everything is closed. So why PPRP is not picked up in the India? Because it applies only to MSME, and within MSME, the micro industries, a PM of 1 crore rupees investment, turnover of 5 crore, constitutes more than 90%. These are very small units, unlikely to have awareness of prepacks. Introduction of prepack coincides with one-time restructuring option to MSME after COVID. Those most companies sought the restructuring options. हर बार restructuring होती गई है, वो मेरे ख्याल से 2024 तक होगी. उसके बाद में we have to see that कि really it really helps or not. I would again just, by putting all this thing, I will just say that one option, that OTS restructuring and all for small companies like MSME or any small industries, you can compare it with this prepack. If you find anywhere the benefit is there to the client, you can relook that. The longer term benefits will come into prepack. Shorter term benefit can come into the OTS, depending on the case to case basis. It's a general statement, but I'm not saying that every time will be the prepack will be good or every time OTS will be good. You have to generalize, you have to understand, and who are the main person who can give this type of advice is our professional brother and sister, because we are the one who deals with the balance sheet. Whatever he does, a borrower, it cannot be scared from the chartered accountant who is signing his balance sheet to see whether there is stress in the business or not. He can hide from the lenders, he can hide from anyone, but it cannot be hide from the chartered accountant, because the person who signs the balance sheet, he understands how the cash flow is going, where the investment was going, where the money was come or not. All these things with us. If we promote, if we understand, then we can certainly work. And if not today, in next 1 or 2 years, you will see that this option will be first priority to the lenders for MSME, those who are having 5 to 10 crore rupees a loan and all, not maybe 1 or 2 crore, because that may not be sustainable. But you will see that future, and it very soon it might also come for the corporates, which is not there as of now. And of course, we are available with our services. And along with this, if any question, I'm available. Yes, sir.
When you mentioned MSME moratorium date extended will expire in March 24, and then the product will get becoming NPA, does it create an impression, or what is your impression? How severely banking industry would be affected? Today they are happy, recovery chal raha hai. So in your view, how seriously will it affect the banking?
Sir, it may not immediately affect, because some part of that is backed by the sovereign guarantee. GCLC आपने देखा होगा, उस जहाँ पे भी वो गवर्नमेंट ने ये स्कीम लाके एक्सटेंड किया था लोन, they have been asked by the government that to go and give this loan to them, even if is having not required, then they have to go and give this loan. So that portion is with them. So assuming suppose 10 crore rupees is there, so out of 10 crore rupees, 1 or 2 crore will be backed by the sovereign guarantee. So not an issue. But other thing we'll see. And that stress is already there. If somebody is closely working with any lenders or bankers, you can ask them. Stress is there. We can see and visible also. MSME may, if you are connected people also, you can see that. But it will not reflect immediately.
What I was comparing 3-4 years back, before this right back in the recovery camp, banking industry was severely affected. So do you see that severity, or just because of backup from the government, the severity will not be there?
Sir, it will come over the period. Because immediately they will not make immediately everything as an NPA. So it will take impact. And see what happens wherever the business, most of the time as it happens that the business is closed.
Yeah.
So if it is closed, surface is available to them, they will sell it everything and then recover it. And quantum is big. Volume is big. Amount was small. So you will not find that the NPA ratio, suppose some banks is having 2.5%. So it may become 2.6 or 7%. It will not become a 5% immediately. So the person who is working on this, he will understand the impact. And it will also happen slowly. Out of the few where they can get a claim from the government, they will certainly get it or try to get it. So, but issue is not that. Issue is that the business will not survive. The ripple effect will come on the business, because if today, if I'm not wrong, around 30% of the GDP, it comes from the MSME, because MSME business are there, around 30%. Export is around 45%. Our export is around 45%. So you can see that why the requirement was there to protect the MSME, because आज लार्ज कॉर्पोरेट्स कितने हैं, मिड साइज कॉर्पोरेट कितने हैं, वी नो. जो स्टॉक मार्केट पे है, बाकी जो नहीं है उनका मालूम चल जाता है हमको. लिस्ट इज देयर ऑन द एमसीए. बट जो एमएसएमई उसके लिए आपको बहुत जगह नहीं मिलेगी. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दोज हु आर नॉन प्राइवेट कंपनीज एज वेल एज द नॉन एलएलपी कंपनी. मैनी बिजनेस आते हैं जो 5-10 करोड़, 15 करोड़, 25 करोड़ के बिजनेस हैं, इंटीरियर से लेके. तो वो आपको नहीं, वो इम्पैक्ट तब देखेगा जब आप इस पे देखेंगे कि यहाँ बिजनेस अभी कम हो रहा है, जीडीपी पे इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है. वो जब आरबीआई का, कब तक का आरबीआई का रिपोर्ट आया अभी तक, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे? Once you see that कि MSME impact कितना है, अभी आप मेरे ख्याल से if I'm not wrong, 1 week back also RBI was there कि private credits are going to get impact. So you can see retail loans are going to get impact. So you will see all this.
Once the process starts, the vendors won't have the right to own.
No.
Yeah. This guy will be covered by that.
Yes, sir. If you are impairing, then certainly you have to have a discussion with that. If you are not impairing, then they will not. They will honor that moratorium method. So,
But what you said is everything are now having that stress. Is it, I mean, what I assume is the business is no, I mean, there is no much business or business is not. So is it like the big corporates are, I mean, again, they have, you know, it's like big fishes taking away the business of small fish. Like situation.
कहना डिफिकल्ट है ये, क्योंकि सच बिजनेसेस कैनॉट बी टेकन ओवर द बिग वंस. छोटे के पास में छोटा का ही रहना है. बट प्रॉब्लम इज अबाउट द क्रेडिट्स, फंड्स अवेलेबिलिटी इज अ रिपल इफेक्ट. सर आज मैं एमएसएमई हूँ, आप एमएसएमई, मेरे पास में अगर स्ट्रेस है तो आपके पास में भी स्ट्रेस आने वाला है, क्योंकि अगर हम साथ काम कर रहे हैं तो. क्योंकि इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू पे फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट एंड योर सर्विसेज, अल्टीमेटली इम्पैक्ट यू ओनली.
Because what I understand is some of the cases in big corporates, the MSMEs say, I don't want to register with you as an MSME. So don't declare me as an MSME. Because क्या हो रहा है कि MSME को the big corporates are not giving the business to us because there is a time limit.
Time
of
limit,
45 days. So and there is a lot of reporting, lot of stress is there for the.
They have to pay, they have to provide interest also.
So to avoid that, they are doing away with the MSMEs. They are saying, I will go to the big corporates or the larger people. The point is then MSMEs are saying, okay, you don't treat me as an MSME, you give me the business. And then that stress is starting. This is what I.
Yeah, it happens, it happens. But sir, this is the way of business, you know. If I'm choosing to take risk in the business, then I have to, you know, face consequence also. In case
45 days, which government initiated, was a good move, but it has actually backfired. Maybe.
सर 45 डेज का क्रेडिट जो है वो बड़ा मुश्किल है. साइकिल जो 3-3 महीने तक चलता है. बिग कॉर्पोरेट्स, यू नो द नेम्स, यू नो, दे आर वर्किंग फॉर 3 to 6 months. करो काम करो, नहीं तो जाओ.
अरे गवर्नमेंट ही खुद एमएसएमई को टाइम पे पेमेंट नहीं करता है.
So मतलब हो रहा है कि they are trying to, big corporates are trying to get this under this. So they themselves are entering into the all the I mean right from start to end they will do it. Like,
सर ये
maybe internal companies only. I will not go to the outside.
पर सर वेरी फ्यू, मतलब ये हर कॉर्पोरेट ऐसा कर सकता है, लेकिन कितने एमएसएमई को ले लेगा वो. एंड प्रॉब्लम मेन दिस, इतने सारे पीछे वर्कर है, उनको कौन हैंडल करेगा. सो वो हर जगह कोई भी कॉर्पोरेट सर, कोई भी कॉर्पोरेट लेबर के इशू में नहीं घुसेगा. यहाँ पे लेबर इंटेंसिव वर्क है ना, दे विल नॉट गेट इट. दे विल बेटर टू यू आउटसोर्स इट, यू डू इट एंड गिव टू अस. सो लॉट ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट यू सेइंग इज राइट इन दैट, बट इट्स अ वे ऑफ चूजिंग बिजनेस. आप देखेंगे तो बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स के पास में कितने लोग कर रहे हैं ऐसे काम. So I have done. You may we will circulate this PPT also.
Yeah, sure.
We will circulate your team.
Yes, I will that. And now, just to propose a formal vote of thanks on behalf of the entire JB Nagar Study Circle, to the study group. I want to propose a hearty vote of thanks to CA Prashant Jain for his very intensive and very detailed presentation on Prepack insolvency resolution package. Thank you, Prashant for first of all traveling so far for us, accepting the invitation, interacting with our members, clearing their doubts, and hopefully many of us can find opportunities in our new opportunities of work in this field. Thank you. Thank you for all the audience. Okay, now JB Nagar is having its 25th year celebration going on, so we have a small lucky draw for the members.
Okay.
So I would request you to take out 2 chips.
Do I?
Yeah, please.
2 chips?
Two.
Take it.
I can take this.
Take.
Yeah, I'll just read that. Yeah. Ritesh Goyal. What? Ritesh Goyal. A lot of people have left. So दूसरों का chance मिलेगा.
हमने तो नाम नहीं लिखा, हमने तो लिखा ही नहीं।
अरे क्यों देगा? Mohammed Ismail Sheikh. I just use that. Pure Karim. Close it directly. End it.